Hello, hello. Sorry, I was getting my coffee. All right. Let's see where we are. I think this fight's mostly done. I actually might stop working on it because I think I just need to do like a few tweaks on it. I don't really want to balance test that right now. Let's see what else there is. Let's go to 1. Let's go to 2. All right. Oh, let me do music. Spotify. No. Cannot tell if it's playing. I think it is though. All right, let's see. We did this, we did this, we did this. I do need to do this. Yeah, the myth board needs some reworking as well. Why is this so quiet? Oh, my volume slider was all the way down. All right. That's done. I guess I could do like minor tweaks today. There's a few feedbacks I've been getting that I wanted to also do. Let's see, what do we have here? All right, let's make a commit here. Base boss fight sequence for Shattered Lattice. This will be like the baseline, I think. I'm working on other stuff right now because I've spent too long on that boss fight, and there's a bunch of other stuff I still need to do for the quest. But first I want to do just a few little easy things that people had requested. I am going to make the resonance chambers a little bit easier, because I do think they are a little bit too hard. Um, let me see. I was kind of just thinking I would slow down the projectiles a hair. Actually, let's go test them. This is a feedback I got that it was too hard, but I should probably verify. One problem that this still does have though is that they spawn in the middle and they don't really know. I mean, this one's super easy. You just go in a circle. The bullets are a little fast though. What's up, Sadness? How's it going? How are we doing today? Let's see if we can roll a different one. Oh, what's up, Bloodcoin? How's it going? Yeah, long time. How have you been? Maybe I should put some kind of warning in the middle or something like that. I just don't know. Or I could give the center I could give it a body. Is that a personal local server? This is my this is just running on my computer, this one right here. There's no server for this. It's just all loop backed. This is just what I use for development testing. I'll just like make edits and then like make changes and stuff. That was actually a pretty tricky one. I'm pretty sure you can just circle though, but it's kind of hard to discover that fact, I guess. I almost wonder if there's just too many bullets. Must be so, yeah. I mean, I just spawn. What I do is I spawn every item on the ground for testing, and then I spawn every dungeon for testing as well in a row. Could you imagine? All these would get picked up. Yeah, I just need like a really fast way to test things. So, It sucks 'cause I don't remember. Which one was that? That was blue? Blue. Is there more blues? Weapon outering 4. So Resident Chamber 1 and 3 both use blue projectiles. Let's see. What does this one do? That one was it 3? You can hide those circles. You can highlight those circles that walking outside the arena so it's not matching projectiles. That makes it easier to track. Oh, so they look differently. Yeah. Yeah, the one that is a problem, I guess. Maybe that's just slightly lazy, but the main problem, I think one big problem is that the center People don't realize that things shoot out of it. So you can get hit immediately just by standing near the middle. Like there are patterns that just circle out of that spiral out of the middle. I could just throw a different cube. Or I could just throw a, where's the body for this? I'm gonna take it from the other one. Blue. Let's just see what this looks like. I might change it, but there should be a sprite here. What am I missing? Cube blue, that. But this shouldn't affect it. Could it be the collider? Yeah, why isn't it showing? These must all have it, right? Yeah, they all have that same body. I wonder if it just didn't rebuild or something. No, I mean, it must have. Let me go to one of the bosses, because I just don't know if there's something else I have to do. Proper name. Shadow default. Collider. Color. Oh, I have the color set to completely transparent. So I don't know if you can tell, but I like just woke up. I kind of slept in today. I usually wake up way earlier than this. There we go. I'm gonna give it a hover. A float. What is that called though? It's gonna be called like let's just look. Floating height function. We'll take the jellyfish one. What's up, Thiago? How's it going? I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna copy it. It's hard to just like take something from a different biome because then if I change in the other biome, I accidentally break this stuff. Or I don't break it, but I change it. We gotta see how that, let's baseline that and then we'll adjust from there. At least people would stay away from it a little bit. I might make this a different color. I might make like a purple. I actually might only do this because there's some of these that shoot from the middle, there's some that don't. I think I might only just have this for the ones that shoot from the middle. Boss. I'm just gonna call it boss blank. I'm gonna remove the sprite. That. Disable mirror to movement. I don't need that. I don't need that. 1110. What is this? NRGBA. Let me just look at my diff actually. I'll just steal it. Oh, this is completely wrong. This is on, this is a uint8, so this would be 255 or 0xFF. This should be it, I think. All right, I just need to go through the different fights and see what happens. What does this one do? This one takes a blank. I think. Yeah, this is the one that spirals out of the middle. Oops, no, this one would take that. So then 2 should take blank. Wait, monster. Is there only 3 of these? Oh, there's 4. What does this one do? This one also shoots at the middle, it looks like, at least. It's kind of hard to read, but yeah, if it's just doing a geom attack from this weapon, then it must. So this one is right. Okay, so we have 2 of each, I guess. How long have you been developing Go? I don't know. It's been a while though. Did Emacs just crash? That is wild. I'm actually gonna not open the client. I did hear recently, or I read recently, that people are working on Emacs again or something like it crashed because of this. Why would that crash Emacs though? It's just a copy paste error. Yeah, but how long have I been programming in Go? Probably over 6 years. I don't know if it's been 10 though. Maybe it has. So this one should shoot at the middle. I mostly just want people to stay away from it, because what happens if you just stand in the middle? Oops, I didn't even see that. If you just stand in the middle, then it ends up, man, these go so fast. Yeah, but you'll stay in the middle because you don't know that they're gonna spawn out of there, and then it ends up doing that, and then you kind of... All right, I guess let's go through and test these one by one. Actually, yeah, it would be in here, wouldn't it? So we have, let's do the first one. We'll just go through them one by one and balance them. My goal is to make them a little bit slower paced. Like, I think the bullets are just shooting too quickly, and I think it's too punishing, because if you get hit by one bullet, you like faint in the dungeon, and it's kind of over. All right, this one doesn't shoot out of the middle, so we should be safe in the middle. Let me do this though. Take off my invincibility. All right, we were safe. The hitboxes on these larger projectiles is really bad. Okay, let's slow those down. So those are going to be the those are going to be weapon spawner. This is how frequently we shoot them. I might slow this down as well. That's the orbiter, and then we shoot this projectile. I'm gonna call it damage proj. $100 is my like base speed, so I'm gonna go to 80. Let's just see what this looks like, and then I might decrease this. The problem is if you slow down the bullets, then it ends up causing there to be more bullets on the screen. Because they're just moving slower, you know? So like the gaps get smaller. So I might have to slow down the shooting rate. Just so that I can... I'm gonna put this back on. I'm trying to not do like a patterned movement. I'm trying to do it like someone who would have never done this before would do. I think this is a lot better actually. I'm happy with that. I don't want to make it like trivial, but I also don't want it to be too hard. All right, so that one's good. Let's do Resonance Chamber 2 next. Let's see what this one does. I'm Brazilian. Unfortunately, I don't understand English very well, but I'll be following your channel's content. I really enjoy it. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, sorry. I know I talk super fast, and that's something people have told me. So it's probably really hard to understand what I'm saying. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. But I'm happy to repeat stuff or try to re-explain things if it's confusing or doesn't make sense. This one I don't like because it's too, like you just go in an outer circle and it's kind of solved. Let me just remember the different ones that we have. Because I might want to change that one completely. So we can't sit in the middle because of this. I do want to change this sprite. I'm not really sure what I need to change it to though. Like, this is just nuts. I don't know how I balance this ever. Oops, I forgot to put my ring back on. Okay, that one was a spiral in the middle and then an outside single. Okay. Let's see what 4 does. All right, I guess the last two shoot from the middle, which makes them a little bit different. What does this one do? Oh, it's just a square. That's actually fairly tricky. The problem is like there's this constant spray kind of like chasing you. I got hit there, so I would have lost already. In my defense, I did just wake up, so I'm not really trying that hard. Yeah, like this is just such a weird, I don't know how I got away with this. I think sometimes you do so much, you add so much at once, and you don't really, it becomes hard to judge it because it's all just like so new. And then I go back and play it like a week later. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. But that's kind of part of the process, I think. Okay, I think I have a lot better idea of what I want to do. For this one specifically, this one was it was either 2 or 3 blue orbs that rotate and shoot, or I think it was 2 that rotate really fast and shoot really fast. I think rotating fast is fine. I think they need to shoot way slower. And we'll do the same damage projectile. I'm gonna make this 60, I think. Hold on. Yeah, I think that works. What's up, Doru? How's it going, buddy? It's been a while. Yes, I'm keeping those corrections. How have you been, buddy? It's been a while. I'm actually kind of surprised you're awake because I feel like this is kind of a later stream. Later in the morning, I mean. They need a longer duration. Let me just look for holes in the pattern. I wonder if instead of 2 is hard. I might do 4. Let's do 4. I don't really know what the tick period should be. I'm gonna drop to 40 and 12 and 1500. Oh, I don't have to, oh no, I do have to restart because it's a timer based level. Somehow got a job, jeez. Congrats though. Pay is low though, can't be a chooser. It's true to some degree. That's good though. It's also sometimes getting your, I don't know if this is your first job, but it's still, oh, I thought for some reason I would stream at the morning and it would be like, you're about to go to, like it's 3 a.m. or something. Maybe that was when I was streaming at lunch. I would stream at like 11 or something. I would stream after lunch for me. But I think a lot about getting a job is just getting like a stepping stone to the next job, if that makes sense. Oh, this is actually interesting. I like this pattern. They need to live a lot longer though. Duration, I'm just gonna do 10 seconds. It doesn't really matter. Bum, bum, bum. Second job, not CS line though. Yeah. Okay, that's unfortunate, but is that what you're looking for as a CS job? I have heard, sadly, the experience arc. Yeah, I have heard that. Oh, this is actually good. It's kind of it's very like it's more micro dodgy and a little bit more random, if that makes sense. I have heard the job market's really bad right now for programming. It's so funny because I was so convinced like 5 years ago, or no, like before LLMs. When did LLMs come out? Was it 5 years ago LLMs came out? Trying to get into logistics. I think this is a good pattern because it's not like impossible. It's just like you just kind of like zip around and it's pretty reasonable. Yeah, when did LLMs come out? Let me look it up. When? I'm gonna say when did ChatGPT release? 2022, okay. Yeah, like before those, I was very convinced that programming was like programming and chip making were like the two things that would never were like the two best jobs to get into. So like whenever someone asked me like, hey, what should I do? I would be like, oh, you should do like computer science or like chip design stuff. Because they're just like the two most useful things. I see ads, I'm sorry. Let me know when you're back. All right, that one's better. This one actually might have been, 3 might have been okay. Chips Route 1 somehow, yeah. Actually, yeah. I didn't really recommend chip making to work on chips to people, but I did know that like making chips is super hard. And I still do think that. Gosh, that blue one so much. Yeah, the blue one needs to be slowed down a lot. I was trying to just like make it go really fast and like be different, but I think that just doesn't work. But yeah, I recommended computer science to people, just so many people, because I was so convinced that like, oh, this is good. This is something that's very difficult and is probably never going to be replaced. Or like at the time, there's like no real path to it being replaced. But now that LLMs are out, it's kind of like, well, maybe there's a future where. But I also feel like almost every job that requires any kind of like problem solving, if LLMs can do software engineering and solve those kinds of problems, then like it could probably solve like most like unrelated problem types. But it's always hard to say. It's not there yet for sure, but I just don't know. I was such a doubter. 3. I'm gonna do 2000 damage proj. True, but I don't know if it's worth it for long running code. Can't really trust vibe code libraries. Oh yeah. Like sorry. What I was saying was just that like before I was like, oh, software engineering is like the best field to go into because like it's just gonna be, they're just gonna need it more and more and more. And now there's like a little bit of like some basic things can be like done faster with LLMs. So it's like, well, maybe there's not going to be as much of a demand as I originally thought. I still don't really think that LLMs are going to replace. We somehow engineered ourselves out of a job. Yeah. It is funny that it was basically all built on the fact that like people made open source libraries. If open source wasn't a thing, then LLMs would be super bad at programming. So it's kind of ironic. But I mean, I think that's I don't know. I think that's part of open source, to be honest. I'm also surprised there's no, maybe there are legal cases I just don't know about, but I'm surprised there's no legal cases for this stuff. I guess it's really hard, and no open source project's gonna sue like Google. But let's do duration. There's something else I was gonna say about this, but I forgot. But yeah, I don't think AI is I don't think any LLMs produce like usable code on its own. I think they're really bad at problem solving still. Like as soon as you let the AI decide how it's going to do something, it's going to do a terrible job. That's been my experience, at least. So you really have to like drive it to do like exactly what you want. It just has no taste for like organizing. Why is there only one of these? Oh, I forgot to make this a 3. That's what I was gonna do. Can't really blame open source either. People want free and working code. It is weird that I guess it's not weird that people are willing to do it for free. Are your fabs in Go still? My fabs? Prefabs? Yeah. Yeah, I do all of my, this is all of my prefab stuff. Like this is the weapon that the thing shoots. I really like that. I really like the model. It does slow my compile times down a bit, but this type safety is so nice to have. And being able to like LSP rename things is really nice. So I think I can shoot these a little bit more frequently. Let me see here. Yeah, we'll go a little bit more frequent. Let's see. Oh, time murder is the one I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do 1400. No more model attack pattern shenanigans. Well, I started with YAML, which was fine. I mean, YAML's a reasonable approach, but it's just so hard to, like what ends up happening is, it's like, what did I call this field? I don't remember. Let me go look it up. And then it's like, I can't really like find reference with my LSP. So I need to like open the file. Oh, it's called blah, blah, blah. And then now I can put that YAML field in my YAML file. So, I mean, configuring stuff in your language is so much nicer. It takes me back to the good old days of YAML config in Mythfall. Yeah. It was bad. It was a bad but necessary step to get to where we are today. Go is just a tricky language when it comes to like configurability features. Like I imagine things like Rust would be way easier to set up because you can just like embed the defaults of your struct in like another struct, from what I understand. So features like that would be super nice to have, but I can't really do that. So I have to do it all dynamically. But it is what it is. This is better. I don't think that's too difficult either. There's also that time you almost decided to make a script lang for configuring prefabs. Wait, did I? Or was it... What was I gonna do? I don't remember this. It's been so long now. I guess that does make sense maybe because that does kind of make sense because you need to dynamically load this stuff. So what I do now is I just have a Go binary that gets built and compiled and then run that builds a big binary blob that gets imported. I sidetracked the streamer. Yeah, it was probably your idea to do the config scripting language. No, it does actually sound like something I would want to do. For a while, I tried to make a programming language. Actually, that was like my first big introduction to vibe coding was like, you know what? While I'm working on Mythfall, I'll just like vibe code a programming language. So I bought the Gemini subscription and then did that, and then I just started to realize like how bad the decisions it makes are. And then I also realized there was just like a fatal flaw with my programming language design that didn't really work out. Man, something happened with the lighting. Does this happen always? Is it always like this? Like, look at that. I'm not that smart to come up with that. I don't know if it's smart, but... All right, we need to change this one. This one was the square. I think the square has too much. Oh, we want to see the lighting thing? I think the square has just too many bullets. So it kind of becomes hard to... Too many bullets. I'll show you this first. Thank you, Monatina, for the follow. Appreciate it. I see these lights overlapping. I think it's just the glow layer that the projectiles get. Lighting is so tricky. I guess it's okay to be this far out. Maybe this is all right. I might make this shoot slower. I think it's this one. Are we on 4? Yeah, we're on 4. Okay. Attack square. What's up, Nellis? How's it going? Go Brazil. Oh yeah, how are you guys doing in the World Cup? Let's do 1500 for this one. The glow layer is confusing. I have a special lighting layer. So like I draw the lighting layer and then I multiply that into the final render. But then for projectiles, I also have a glow, which is colored. And that's more of like an overlay layer, I think. I can't remember exactly why I did that, but I think I wanted to have the lighting layer is like behind the player, but the glow layer is like a overlay thing. Because I wanted to have it so that when you go behind like a light that's colored a specific way, it would glow the player a bit. So I think I did it that way. But maybe what I need is 2 lighting layers, one above and one behind. Okay, we made this square slower. And then the orbiting projectiles, I want to have more of them. I think I want to have 2 of them. We'll do 2. Let's try this. 6, 12. I'm just curious what this will do. Let's see how that looks. Bum, bum, bum. Once the documentation streams, we can spec out the renderer. The renderer is actually open source. You can read it if you want. Not that it's not a great renderer. But it's not bad either. Yeah, this is just too slow. What did I do? 20? Let's do 60. I think the gaps are better because now it's easier to run through the horizontals and stuff. It can somehow get 60 FPS on my potato. I can attest to that. Performance-wise, it's pretty good, I guess. Can we unbound frames in the game now? You can't. You can never unbound frames in a browser, but you can unbound frames on the desktop app. Browsers won't let you disable VSync. Or rather, like there's something called request animation frame that runs in browsers, and you can't really change that. Like that's just what decides whatever frame rate you're gonna get. So I synchronize to that essentially. Like that's the callback you need to hook into to meet like the draw timing constraint. It's actually decent. It's not like super easy because you have to weave through these things. Let me just see how hard it is. I'm trying to see if there's other ways to do this that are easy. No, I mean, I'm still having to dodge, so. Maybe staying still is the solution, but then they all aim at you. I do wonder if I should disable dashing for this dungeon and just make it so you have to walk through. I feel like that'd make it more fun. Oh, it guarantees 60 FPS. It's I mean it's computer dependent. Like your browser might lock you to 30 FPS, 60 FPS, 144 FPS. It's just I have no idea. It's whatever your browser decides to sync at, which is probably dependent on your computer. I was gonna applaud you for not using the COD sword. I have an invincibility ring on. So, Alice, don't worry, I was still cheating. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Okay. I'm gonna put this as a future me problem. Maybe rework resonance chamber to block dodging. Make everything runnable. Like I basically need to ensure the gaps are large enough for people to run through. Have I deployed this one? What is this sort order? Why is... Oh, I thought the bottom is the higher one. This is just markdown. I just have like some special highlighting, and I can do Control CD and like check things off. I prefer this to org mode. Org mode just has too much to it. Like I really just want a checkbox list, and that's pretty much it. I think Emacs is plagued by just a ton of bloat with stuff like that, and I really use like 1 to 5% of Emacs features probably, and everything else I just like is just bloat to me. That reminds me, I was because I was like starting to like try out vibe coding and stuff. I was like, oh, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna make a language, and then I'm gonna make a editor like Emacs on top of that language, and it all kind of just fell apart. It's not that I wouldn't want to do something like that. It's just that you can't really like vibe code and get good results. You have to like really be there watching the code and reviewing it all, and it just took too much time. Bare Emacs just the text render in eLisp. Well, even bare Emacs, like this is bare Emacs. This is not. I mean, it's just I added like a few packages to it. But even like this has like snake. It's got like snake built into it and like stuff like this. Like, do I really need this? No. So it's, I don't know. So like you just have to imagine that like being able to do a feature like this is not that it slows down your editor, but it's just why. It is cool though. But there's also one, there's like from the XKCD, MX, what is like butterfly? That's from that XKCD thing. I assume it's from that. I assume XKCD was first and this was an Emacs added it after, but I have no idea actually. Okay. Well, sorry, I just need to go look at what Mythfall version I'm at. I'm surprised I don't have a new patch notes for this already, yeah. So we need to start one for v0.12.0.md. There's a bunch I've done though, or I guess mostly I've been working on the quest, which is like one big task. Let me see here. I guess we'll just let's do screen shake next. I haven't pushed in a while. Don't tell me that train thing you had was an Emacs. No, that's a steam locomotive. Like if you type ls, but you type it backwards, it's runs steam locomotive. I guess I don't have it installed, but it just runs a train across your thing. When I was at this job, me and my friend, we had this like lab computer we had to go to like do some integration testing stuff, and we would like mess with each other because we had like root access to this little computer, and so like we'd open each other's like bash rc file and like alias commands to do other stuff, like run steam locomotive and things, or like make fake scripts that like made it look like it was made it look like you were like deleting all the files or something. I don't know. There's just stupid stuff like that. harmless, but yeah, I mean, they're like lab computers, so they're not on any networks. They're just like, I mean, I guess they're on the internet, but it's hard to do software stuff if you can't have root access to the thing you're on, you know? So, what's up, Dozy? How's it going? Okay, let's add a screen shake setting. The screen shake system's super bad because it's it like tries to do it based off of your render speed, but I just know it messes up a lot. I might make it a slider actually. I'm gonna go ahead. I have no idea where this stuff is. Do I not call it screen shake? Oh, here's an effect. I guess it's around here. Oh, camera shake is what I call it. That's what you have. That's what you have to give me SSH privileges to your home PC. Trust me, bro. Yeah, I guess I have a little bit of a user design question now. Like, do I disable it for all screen shakes? Or do I disable it for just the taking damage one? Probably just the taking damage one. That's the one that's disorienting. And the other ones are super short and kind of rare. So I'll just do it for the damage one, which is just triggered here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable it on this end where it's also amazing how I name stuff sometimes where I call it camera shake instead of like screen shake. Whatever. Okay, so we just need to go to like settings or something. Do I make it a slider? What is amplitude? Oh, I'd have to scale this. Yeah, I'll just make I'm gonna do a slider and I'm going to, if it's 0, it's just disabled. I think. I guess you'd put it in kind of camera settings. No shake, some shake, all shake, mega shake. Now I'll probably just do like a numerical by 0.1 or something. 1 to 0. Or maybe 1 to 2 or 0 to 2 and have it start in 1. I need to add a default for this. 1.0. The problem is I'm not sure that this is gonna work. I don't remember how the default settings lay out, like if they're able to overwrite something that's missing. I think they're supposed to, but I'm not 100% sure. Whatever. Every time you swing the sword, the screen shakes. Every time you smash a hammer, you get like a big like, whoa. Shoot, I just don't remember. I don't remember how do I do this. Do I just do this? Get player. Do I just do current player settings? Is that what I use? everywhere. Yeah, I just use current player settings. Okay. If current player settings dot screen shake less than or equal to 0. Oh, sorry. That's the inverse of that. It's got to be greater than 0. Greater than 0. Then we want to make sure it's not nil, obviously. We'll do that. We'll just take the basic vector and scale it by whatever the screen shake is set to. Then it'll just scale up or down. Don't get lost. Almost 40K lines of code. I think I'm at like 100,000, aren't I? $134. The problem is a lot of it's like boss fights and stuff. Like that stuff just takes like 1,000+ lines of code. Okie doke. So this should work, I think. And then we just need to do a setting in the overlay here. Where's camera? Camera. I thought I had some settings that were like related to this. Integer zooming, camera pan. That was up here. Do I not have a slider? Enum setting, slider setting. There we go. This is going to be screen shake. This is going to be. Sorry, I need to go look at. There it is. We'll do 0 to 2 with step sizes of 0.1. I think that's how it's probably set up. It's first, second, third. Reset type. Oh, that's the reset type. Okay. Min max step. Yeah. So min of 0.0, max of 2.0, and step size of 0.1. All right, let's try this. My battles and ads. I have 130,000 lines of code. And then we added a slider for screen shake. How do I test this? I guess I just go get hit someplace. That looks pretty good. It did also start at 1, which was nice. I want to do one test though, where I want to run this on my browser and I want to see if it gets defaulted to 1 as well. I need to run a different make command though. It's like make test or something. What builds WebAssembly? Yeah, this is building it. Okay, perfect. So now you can still index in that project though with LSP. No, the LSP stuff's fine. My build times are kind of disgusting though, which is sad, but I think that that's partially my fault with just some bad organization that I had. So, you know, what can you do? Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna test this really quickly on my side monitor. Oh, I clicked the wrong user. Let me just log in someone else. All right, screen shake is defaulted to 1, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. It's never too late to fix your bad decisions. It's just like, is it worth spending that much time fixing it, you know? It's not really a fix. It's more like a feature. I added a screen shake intensity slider. Bad decisions are just a matter of perspective. True. I like that. I just kind of, I have a little bit of a tangled web of dependencies, and I think I could have simplified things a bit. Should I rename this? Should this be called damage screen shake? Let's just see how that looks. So today we say goodbye with GLFW. Does Go have winning libs that doesn't use CGO? Not that I know of. I just use CGO. I don't really see a big, oops, I don't know why I ran in here, just habit, I guess. I'll just call it damage screen shake. I'm just gonna call it that. I don't see a big problem with CGO, I guess. Like, I know that the Ebit engine like moved to something called Pure Go, where they try to remove the CGO build time dependency. But like ultimately, you still have to do that translation. Like you're still getting the performance hit, I think. That's my understanding. It's just that you can compile it without CGO. But like, I don't think it gives you any more, like your code's not more portable. It's just like easier to build it, I guess. So I don't really, I guess I maybe just don't understand like what the point of that is, but other than like, you don't have to install, like there's some dependencies you don't have to install, which I guess is nice for like some user perspective, but yeah, I'm just not sure. But yeah, added a screen shake slider. That's my favorite song by The Clash. Should I stay or should I go? That's so stupid, but it's so funny. That's a bad good joke. Okay. Screen shake setting. Man, that was all the easy stuff I had. Dang, I was hoping there was more easy tasks to do. Let's see. It almost works. 4 out of 10. I give it a 7 out of 10. Remember, 5 is an average, though. I don't really want to do decorations because I'm kind of arted out from drawing all those cube monsters for the dungeon right now. Let's see. Prevent people from entering dungeon if they haven't unlocked them. I guess next would be just working on the quest, like finishing up the quest. Which I guess we can do, honestly. Dun, 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 dun. This is gonna be redone. Let's go read Crystallography 102. Crystallography 2. We're gonna work on this quest next. But before we do that, I do want to go and make coffee really quick. So I'll give me like 1 minute. I'll be right back. All right, coffee's brewing. I just slammed my hand into the doorknob too. That didn't feel great. Okay, let me just remember. Okay, you get her some stuff. Man's too excited to code again right after eating coffee. My coffee's not done yet though, it's brewing right now. I do an AeroPress, which is this. Hold on, I have to search because it's gonna be like, you live here, here's some stores nearby. I use this to make my coffee. You basically like fill it, you put coffee grounds in there. There's a little filter that goes into this little bottom part and it screws on. And you put your grounds in on top of the filter, and then you pour hot water in, and then you suction the top. So it's like a straw when you like pull, you can pull water out with a straw, you know? And then it just brews for like a couple of minutes, and then you just plunge it through the filter and you have your cup of coffee. Yeah, not aerospace. Could you imagine they sponsor me? Actually, maybe I should reach out. I'll sing their laurels. I'll sing their laurels every day. You know, it was invented by who invented AeroPress? Who invented AeroPress? It was by the guy who invented like frisbees. Alan Adler. This guy did. But he invented some frisbee thing too. Funny. I guess the man liked his coffee. All right, let's see what we do here. Okay, you get the items. She's gonna give you a, not to spoiler alert the plot of this quest, but block type, prototype astrolabe. Do I have this made yet? I guess I did. Did I draw one? I need to restart my system. I can't kill a Kimu instance. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What type astrolabe? Oh, hold on. Let me just do files. I don't know. I want to go to assets. Ace, anim. Oh, I guess I did draw one. It looks like this. This will have to change, but at least we have one. Yeah, this is just a tricky interaction. I'm not really sure how to do this yet. Here's what my plot idea was. I was going to you give her the items, she gives you this prototype astrolabe thing, and you can interact with it to go into that dungeon. To go into not the residence chamber, but the shattered lattice dungeon. And then there it's like a wave sort of deal. And there's waves and bosses that you have to fight in between the waves. So once you complete that, it'll drop some item for you. Yeah, so once you defeat the wave, it'll drop some item that you bring back to her. The problem is I'm not sure how to set up the interaction that takes you straight to the dungeon. I guess it's not that big of a deal. You just make a block with a special interaction mode that teleports you to a dungeon. And that's kind of all there is to it. Kind of like how I have, like you can talk to that muscle guy, the trainer guy, and he can take you to the tutorial again. I just do the same thing, but for the block. But then people can just keep re-entering the dungeon. But I kind of have to let them re-enter the dungeon, don't I? So maybe I just have a separate drop table where you only get one item out of it. That's what I'll do. So I'll make it so you can only get special, but you can only get the, because this is going to be a dungeon that spawns in the sphere as well. But in the sphere, it'll be, it's going to be a, In the sphere, you can only enter it if you've completed the quest. But then, in your home, you have to beat it solo first. And then I just have two separate loot tables, I think, depending on which mode you're in. And then I can just let people re-enter it. So then I think that works out. I don't really see any weaknesses there. Other than the fact that people can get multiple of their of the quest item before they turn in. But it's just like a random quest item. It's not really used for anything. So it's not like it's a it's not like it's useful to have multiple of them. So I'm not gonna play test what? But yeah, I think that strategy will work. All right, let me just write it all down so I can this is kind of a larger task. This is a part of it, but I guess this feature I'm planning right now, so I haven't even coded it yet. So I can't really play test it. And I'm definitely gonna play test it. I just have to build it first. So it'll be a way for prototype astrolabe to take you to dungeon. Special drop table before completing. Special drop table after completing. Then I need to do this. This is more of a myth board thing. Oops. That is one problem that's kind of annoying. When you hit tab, it tabs everything south of it. I'd prefer to just tab whatever line I'm on. Because if I'm going to tab multiple, I'm going to do like this, you know? I'm gonna select them all, but whatever. Does this solve it? So it's basically the housing block item needs to take you to the dungeon. I need a special drop table in the dungeon with the quest reward item. And then I need a special one for after. Then also I need a finish quest, which is basically just doing what? It's just doing take I mean, that's pretty much it, right? I just have to take the items to her. I can't remember anything else other than that. I'll integrate these right away, and then it's basically complete. Oh yeah, I have this, and then I finally got the blank working. Oh yeah, okay. So you have to bring the stuff back to her. And yeah, so this will be like the last thing she says. Let me integrate these right away. And then she builds it and you get their quest reward item. Which is gonna be a time to switch to Helix. I did try to I tried to switch to other stuff. The problem is I'm just so used to Emacs. Like I can't learn Vim key bindings. I just don't care. If I learned them first, that's fine. But at this point, it's just not worth it. Though I'd love something, I'd love something more minimal than Emacs. But has all the features that I want from Emacs, if that makes sense. Which I don't know. I guess I could build it, but I don't really have I don't have the time. So here I am, I guess. Yeah. Whatever. It definitely does take time. I wonder if it's something I could vibe code though. Probably not. The problem is like it's like if it's a problem I know how to solve, then AI like it's weird. It's like the hard part about programming is solving the problem, not really generating the code. So like I can use AIs to generate the code, and as long as I tell them exactly what I want, they generally do like an okay job. But as soon as I'm using them to solve the problems, like I'm just like, oh, I want this feature. Like if you say like I want this feature, it always adds in the worst possible way. But if you say like, hey, add this function and then add this function and then add this function and then wire them together to do this thing, then it can do that, you know? But like knowing what you have to do is harder than, like that's the hard part, not really typing it all in. So but I think it just pretty much AI is what it's gonna end up being is just makes people who know how to program faster at programming. And then like it maybe lowers the entry level a little bit on building code, so like non-coders can do it, but they're not going to be building anything high tech. The other thing that peeves me a little bit about AI is that like people will use it for like web services and stuff. Not that this is really like a peeving thing, but it's just that like there's so much abstraction built up to the point to where you're building like a web service to do something that like the fact that an AI is able to generate the code that does like responds to an HTTP request is not like very, I don't know. It's not super like impressive, I guess. I don't know. Like at that point, it's not like really a hard problem anymore. It's just like a boilerplate problem. But all right, let me get my coffee. I'll be right back. And then we'll do this questing thing. It took me at least 2 months to be confident I can use it. Yeah, I'm already good at Emacs, and I already like know the Emacs key bindings and stuff, so. It would just be like suffering for like no reason at this point. Like I already have my development environment that I like to use. But I like, had I learned Vim first, then like I probably would have been in the same boat. I'd be like, there's no point to learn Emacs. Vim's just nicer because like it's nicer to use something that everybody uses because like more people are building integrations for it. But one thing that's nice about Emacs is it's more pluggable, so. I just want a more minimal version of Emacs, I guess. So here we are. Okay. This is the wrong spot. We want to be up here. Okay, so we need to make an entry point here to take you to the dungeon when you interact with it. Let's go ahead and, did I place one in my house? I might have. Yeah, I did. So it's not interactable, so we need to fix that. Well, yeah, doesn't it need an interactable, or does that get added automatically? Let me go to a crafting one, like workbench or something. I don't know. There we go. I might add interactability as a, like I might look for this, and if you have it, I might add it. House. Get upgrade config. What a weird, what a weird logic. Yeah, go ahead, enums. I think I wouldn't be doing stuff like this. I think I do stuff like this because it's like I need to make sure it's. Oh, item config. Oh, never mind. I'm just searching down the chain. Never mind. Okay. Disregard. Is this it? No. Oh, draw. I even did a menu for this, but I don't have a. Oh, actually, it might just not be working because I have a hot reloader bug. Where yeah, okay. So I do have it set up for this. Perfect. Let's see. Yeah, so here we are. Okay, we actually have this coded up nicely. Perfect. Okay, we just need to, I guess I got to that point and then I was like, all right, I need to add a dungeon now. Let me go to the dialogue for, I don't think it's in here. This is all local. Does it in town? Instructor. I don't remember what his name was. Yeah, dialogue menu tutorial. Yeah, I just have a custom message that the user sends to say like enter tutorial. Let me just hook. I'm just gonna test this really quickly. We'll see if it takes us into the tutorial, and then if it does, then we'll rewrite one of this, but that just for the actual interaction. Like we need to make it housing block specific. That's the dungeon they would enter. Okay, perfect. All right, so that does work. We just need to make a different version of this. All right, let me just see what we need to hook up. So this will be the handler for it. We'll have to write a custom handler, and then we basically just network it though. Other than that, what is this? Oh, that's the dialogue handler. Okay, I think we have a good idea of what we need to do. Do we do no enter dungeon's wrong? It'll be we'll do something like this, I think. I feel like you should make a God Sprite character with a giant white beard. Also Santa when you turn on God mode for testing. Oh, like to resprite my character to be a like floating Jesus. Are you that one evil guy? I don't know what that means. But thank you for the follow, appreciate it. I will pass enter astrolabe here. And we'll obviously have to set up some settings, I think. But I was able to catch your stream this time, logged in to play the other day, but I couldn't find the portal. Regardless, real inspiring the work you're doing. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, so it's maybe a little bit confusing right now, but you have to do like an introductory quest in the town before the portal unlocks. It's a little bit long though. I mean, it's not like super long. It's probably like 3 minutes, but it's maybe confusing right now. But I want some kind of introduction to the game. So, and it kind of like sets the story. It's a pretty well made quest, if I'm not to toot my own horn here, but. All right, so we'll do enter astrolabe. I'm gonna make a proper function for this because we'll have to check more things. I'm just thinking of how this is gonna operate. Here's what I'll start with though. We will go here. I think I called it enter astrolabe. I don't remember at this point though. Okay, we can basically have this check at the very top though. So if the player tries to enter, this is on the server, if the player tries to enter from the not town, from anywhere other than the town, then we'll just block it outright to save us some processing time. Sorry, let me just go back here. Level config. Oh, I guess that's here. Let's run it and copy this. Oh, I did copy it. It's just up here. Sorry, there's just a few little things. I think I can get Orca from the game. It's somewhere, I know. Capital O. I'm gonna go ahead and just do this. That's a query. So we read the user if they're not nil, but we can do this now. I'm gonna do this handle. Oh, I typoed here. Enter. Let's go ahead and add this here, I guess. I always don't know what to write here. It doesn't really matter because it's just I'm gonna see it in my logs and then have to like reverse search the line. Maybe Zerolog does have this, but it would be really nice for like error messages only. I want to see the log line. I don't want to see it for other printouts though, I think, just for the errors. I'm just gonna leave it like this. That's fine. So let's start a Go routine that starts the tutorial and then moves the user there. It's weird though because spawn and start dungeon. This should technically be a warning. This is like somebody was trying to like, unless I have a bug in my code, I guess. Let's just start with this for now. I do need to go look at this function though. Whoever implements it. Level config, spawn dungeon, add, and then start. We don't want to spawn a portal though, which is I think the reason I can't use this one. I think this spawns a portal. Or does it? Spawn and start dungeon. Let's go back to the nope, this one is what I wanted. Spawn and it's definitely a dungeon manager thing. Spawn and so these are the exact same thing. I might be able to combine these. I might have just made this one because I just wanted it to be simple. Spawn and start dungeon spawns a dungeon with a level config passed in, adds it, calls dungeon start, and returns the world ID. Am I missing something? Whenever I have code like this where it does like what looks like the exact same thing, I'm always worried that I'm missing something. I think we can replace this, I'm pretty sure. Whoops, I did that backwards. I wanted to copy this and then comment this. I think I just do this. What is this function? Spawn dungeon for interface. Do I need this? This just passes through. Oh, it's because there's the orchestrator. Shoot, let me go back here. Server dungeon. Oh, this returns back an interface. Does no one use this? Okay, maybe this interface is just a little bit legacied. Because sometimes I'll do some reworking, and this was a big rework I did, was building this orchestrator interface. Let me just let me talk to the guy, and I just want to make sure that this still works because we did kind of change this. Okay, we can go back to the tutorial. Then let's go up to see if this thing still works. Okay, good. And that's going over our new message as well. So we can delete this. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up too. I guess I will leave this one just because it's... I don't know, maybe I could pull that out. Like I could just define this on the other side of whoever calls that. Is it here? I'm just gonna leave it since I have it in a bunch of different spots. It's probably not the best spot to have it in the interface, but whatever. Okay, let's go to our handler now. I hate this lint warning where I do like ID lowercase d. Okay, let's go and find the correct thing now. It's is it in server? No. Well, let's just do this. Hold on. We're gonna do spawn and start dungeon. For now, though, it's just shattered lattice. Type seed modifiers, and those will all be blank. So basically we're gonna make the destination spot the new dungeon, and then we're going to spawn and start it. And then this is all in a Go routine, so it's asynchronously happening on the server. And then we're just gonna move the user to the world. So they're just gonna get yanked out of whatever they're doing and yeah, and moved, so. But because it's asynchronous, we pass it through a channel so it can get executed on the same loop as everything else. So there's no like race condition there. Okay, I think that works. So let's go test now and see if we go to the correct dungeon. We know we can go to the tutorial dungeon, but we're gonna go to the right one now. Oops. Oh, I have to enter somewhere, and it's actually nice for testing because there we go. Perfect. All right, and then they can go into the dungeon. Let's make a commit here. We cleaned that up. We deleted this. We added the new action. We can delete this line because we don't need that interface anymore. Handle enter astrolabe. This is the handler for our message. Oh, wait a second. We need to do a range check. I just realized. This, though, we don't need to pass anything. Because there's only one dungeon to go to. That's done. Or it will be done. We added the new message and serialization code. Let's go to the handler, though. Server. Here. We actually might need to pass something through the messaging system. Because we need to pass the block ID that they're interacting with. Because we need to look up to see if they're close enough to it. Sorry, let me see. I'm just looking for one that does house crafting. Action.lock. Check distance to block location. So we want these two things. We need the we need this to have a I don't remember the type. House.block location. That's good. So we'll read the user ID. We just need a distance check and dun, 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 dun. I'll just leave that, whatever. We do need to get this piece of data. That's easy. And then I'm pretty sure this works. Let me just go to it kind of does suck to do like two separate queries to the ECS, but it's not that big of a deal. This is not a very frequently called thing, so. Yeah, they have to have housing data. Otherwise, they couldn't be interacting with it. Oh, I just remembered this doesn't have a return. That's silly. Okay. Wonder if I can just return this. What does this return? I guess that's, yeah, that's not very clean looking though. Okay. The reason is the code I copied used to be nested, so it kind of implicitly skipped rather than returning early. Okay. So we check the world. We check that they have user data or the user component. They need to get their player house data. If they don't have that, we skip. We look up the block type. Wait, do we need that? Oh, we do. We need to check. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. technically I have this like astrolabe config thing, this config struct that's attached to the block type that I could look up and just make sure they have that. Or I could just say like, is the block type this one type? Let's do yeah, I do this so I have this code replicated so many places. It's like you look up the house to get the block type, and then you look up the item config based off that block type, and then you look up the block config based off of that item config. And it's I don't know, I guess I could make a helper function for it. It's just like a little bit like you end up needing like something. I maybe even have one that does this whole process. I don't know. Thank you, Campy Barra, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. We can do this first, I guess. No, that one's actually kind of slow. This is just an index lookup. That's fast. That's an index lookup. That's fast. And this is just a struct read, so that's fast. Block config. I mean, technically we need to look up this next. Astrolabe config. Oops. I have this like built-in optional type that I use for optional components. We actually don't need this because it's blank right now. We just need to make sure it has this optional set. Let me check the distance and then we'll spawn it. Okay. Not that it's like that big of a deal, but technically somebody could be interacting with a different block, and then we need to ensure that they at least have this block on their house, if that makes sense. Like you need to have this before you can. You need to have this block placed before the server will let you interact with it. And that was something we missed from the original draft of that function. What do I? House data. I know I have like house block dot type. Does this have a lock? I think this has a location in it. Does it not? Oh, it's called, I just did location long form. Okay, cool. So this will pass over. This is from the client. We're basically saying like, hey, we want to interact with this, or we want to enter the astrolabe housing block, and this is its location. And then the server knows what their house layout looks like because they're kept in sync. And then on the server, we can take that location or reverse engineer what block they're interacting with. And then this is not the right function, but we reverse engineer the block that they're interacting with to ensure that they're able to actually do this command. And then we execute it. All right, let's make sure we didn't mess anything up. Excuse me. I don't like the UI for this still, but I'm not really sure what to do with it, honestly. UIs are really tricky. Well, this is building. Let me just look at what's next. This was this task we just did. Oh, we need to do the special drop tables, which I already have coded because I use it for a different quest. Though I don't know if I have the negative case where once you complete the quest, I change the drop table. I'm not 100% sure. All right, it worked. Let me just make sure that this is kind of right. And that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Okay. What was the other quest that I did? Was it crystallography? Yeah, it was crystallography 101. Oh no, it's gonna be in the resonance chamber stuff. Resonance chamber. Roller, new list roller, static list roller, quest loot roller. Or sorry, list loot roller. So this is the guaranteed loot. Quest. Unlocks. So we want to change Shattered Lattice. This just has a made up loot table, I think, right now. Where is it? Oh, it's just copy pasted. Yeah, so we basically will remove this one. What's MMO? MMO stands for Massive Multiplayer Online Game, which is just like the genre of game that I'm making. Okay, sorry, let me just look at this really quick. Unlock requirements and then the roller, yeah. So basically we have our first roller. No RPG. I mean, I guess it is kind of an RPG. I don't know what, whenever I think of RPG, I think of like Skyrim and stuff like that. I don't think of like, like it is technically like an RPG, I think, but you know, it's like that's less of the focus. There are quests, you do build a character, there's a skill tree, so there's like role-playing elements to it. It's just like not really, it's not like that, it's good enough, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Sounds like an MMORPG to me, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's such like a basic game, like just like pixel art and like little, like there's no voice actors and stuff. So it's like you feel less of like role playing. I don't know. But yeah, maybe now it's kind of like morphed into that a little bit more. Now that I have like way more questing and stuff, there is like a little bit of a story to the game and things. So maybe I can throw the RPG on the end. So this will be the So this is the loot when you're inside the quest. And then I need to make a loot table for finished crystallography 102. These are just going to check and unlock Boolean or bitmask flag. And depending on what status they're in, they'll like allow the server to roll it for that player or not. Thank you, Ox Cohen, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. If you do expand the economy aspect, maybe the RPG is going to be obvious. Rules do tend to surface if there's a market nearby. Yeah, I mean, there is like, there's trading and stuff like that. There's no like market auction house or like grand exchange or whatever. So, but yeah, that does like, that's going to help. Cause then it's like, oh, I'm good at getting this thing or like doing this thing. But, you know. What's up, Jen? Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. I need an unlock for these because I think the number of quest stages is correct or tasks is correct. All right, so you give them this. I can't remember how unlocks work. Do they happen once you? I think they happen once you complete it. Let me just double check what this does. Remove lock. Yeah, so once you give her the things, then it removes the unlock. And the one before it, it adds the unlock. Okay. So we'll do the same pattern for this one. She gives you the astrolabe. Crystallography 2. Attain. Her? She? Yeah. Alara, the Crystal Mancer in the Wizard's Tower. I'm just gonna keep, I don't want to call it attain research. I'm gonna say whatever. I can LSP rename after. I don't know. I don't know what item's dropping yet, so I'm in the wrong file. Okay. So once she gives it to you, then you unlock that loot table. And then... Yeah, okay, I even have a... Oh, unlock questing loot table. Wait a second. Remove unlock. Hold on a second. Why did I write this here? I might have just been wrong. Because the thing is, I think these execute after you complete the task. Give her... Yeah, so when you're in this dialogue, she's still asking you for the item that you get from the dungeon. So this will remove the unlock. And then we need to have this one as the other loot table decider. And oh wait, that's residence chamber. I need to go to lattice. Okay, there we go. So then this will be the, once you finish the quest, you're gonna get this loot table. GTA cutscene trigger? Yeah, that's the Grand Theft Arcana quest. I figured I'd just use the GTA acronym. I think that's where it like triggers a cutscene. It's not really like a cutscene because it's just rendered in the game, but it is kind of a cutscene. You just stand there and he like teleports in, I think. The wizard teleports into the back of the bank. Succubus is legendary. If you made her pixel hot like Succu, I might lose it. Oh my gosh. I do want to add I do want to add like murmur voices to the interaction. I don't think it'd be hard to do either. I watched this video of this guy doing it. I think he just recorded himself making like random noises, and then he just like pitch shifts them. And you get kind of like a mumble speaking sound effect. So I want to do that for all the characters. I feel like that'd add a lot of personality to the game. I do need to make like different voices though. You just says cameo. Yeah, I'll see. I can ask her if she wants to be one of the characters, but I'm not gonna tell you which character it'll be. So it's either me with a really high-pitched voice. No comment. What's up, Chris? Good morning. You know sis is unit all time all along. Yeah, we did do a stream where I played with her. Okay. Oh, you did miss it? I mean, I think the VOD's definitely gone now, so. I think Twitch only keeps them up for like a month or something. Could we dry run the quest? Do any IRL people you know play the game? Play Mythfall? A few of my friends have played it quite a bit actually. But like they got to like everyone kind of gets to the end and then they stop playing, it seems like, so there's not much what's it called? There's not much like getting like looping people back in for like continuous play, which I don't know if that's a bad thing. I think it is kind of a bad thing, but oh, spider. Is he crying? I love that jump effect. I thought I was gonna huck that banana at you. Flamingos, that's very Florida of you. How'd you do this tile mapping? Is this like a built-in Unity thing? It looks really good. The water effect looks good too. There's a gator. This is Florida. You're in a swamp. The water's way too clear for a swamp though. I was about to go off of a oh my gosh. Poor guy. He's about to die. He's not making that waterfall. Definitely a bad thing if it's an MMO, yeah. Oh, sweating. 2000s gothic and a goth and tropic in the tropics. I gotta add the water obstacles. Took a while, but it built it manually, then piggybacked off the 2D system. What can I pick? I see. That's kind of cool. Yeah, no, look, like the auto tiling looked pretty good. I made a kind of on-demand instant VM that you can snapshot restore quickly, but debating whether to turn it into a hosted service or keep it local. Yeah, I think I saw your thing in Discord about that. Wait, where was it? Programming discussions? Oh, show and tell. Yeah, I didn't even know. You mentioned something sprites.dev, and I was curious what that was. I looked it up. I didn't even realize that that stuff even existed. Boots are pretty fast. I guess Firecracker's what they use for, oops. I guess Firecracker's what they use for like Amazon Lambda functions and stuff. But don't tell them I stole the idea. Oh, whoops, sorry, it got yeah, is that why Kimu is slow? Because of the UEFI stuff? Oh, that's cool. This is a tile mapping thing. So that's your tile map, I guess. Like your tile map key. Yeah, key moves slow because of legacy stuff, and it needs to support display outputs and a bunch of crap. Oh, I see. Normally you need 47 to make a full set. However, Unity only supports the tile rotation on 2D tile sets. Oh, so you have to do all of them. That's surprising. Because you'd think that rotating a 3D mesh is just as easy as rotating a 2D sprite. If not even easier. Like it would be even more useful. But I guess you can just you could probably write to override the behavior. You could also probably just like make a few of your blocks and then just like generate the final thing. I guess I don't really know how it works, but like how they model it. But you could generate your own little atlas based off of a few blocks, I guess. Okay, this should do the quest thing. Residence orb. Okay, so this needs to be the quest loot table, and this needs to be the typical loot table. I think I'm gonna have this one drop full crystals, I think. Loot dot random. New static roller. I think this works. Loot table with all the, okay. Do I do anything else? Bum, 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 ba-dum. Okay, we need a quest item now. Resource quest item. I don't know what it should be though. Let me go to crystallography 102. So this is where she builds the astrolabe. I think I use moonstone for that though, don't I? Yeah, this gives you the astrolabe. So this is just a placeholder. And then what do you bring her? Sorry, I'm just thinking. Because I had one idea. Like, I need... I was thinking of doing something like... maybe having like something like Path of Exile mapping at the end game. And I was maybe going to turn the prototype astrolabe into like a proper astrolabe through some other end game quest that lets you do that sort of process. But I don't know. So like, I guess the decision I'm making, I have to make here is the user builds this housing block. The user builds this housing block, enters it, does the dungeon, comes back. And then the question is, and they have some quest item now, because once they've completed it, then the question is, do they bring this this thing plus their quest item to her to have her craft the final version, which lets you access the myth board? Or does she just bring... Do they just bring the quest item you get from this to her, and then she gives you the myth board interaction thing? I probably just have her bring both, right? I'm so torn. It's also, I feel like it's kind of confusing because you're going to finish the quest and you're not really going to be 100% sure. Like this, it just doesn't flow super well, taking the block item up or the housing block up and bringing it to her. So you're gonna basically like go to her with your quest item and be like, all right, I got it. And then she's gonna say, oh, you also need to bring me. Like, you also need to bring me that housing block I gave you. It's just tricky. But it's also awkward to have her make two different housing blocks for you. Like, you bring her stuff, she builds you the prototype astrolabe, and then I either convert that into the myth board thing, or I make a separate block, which is the myth board block. Or I combine them into the same thing. It sucks because this is kind of a game design question. What can I do to keep coding? Because I think I need to think about this a little bit more. I guess I can always go back on it, couldn't I? Tent block, controller support. No, I mean, I want to work on features. Do we need the whiteboard now? No schizophrenic diagrams for you guys today. I'm just not sure if I want to keep these as separate blocks, separate housing blocks, or if I want to have one block. Can you add an arcade? The whole game is an arcade. Tiny 8-bit games. That would actually be interesting. That'd be an interesting challenge. Actually, I don't even know how I'd program that. And gambling. Did I have some way to do gambling in this game? I'm trying to think. I could add a guy you coin flip gamble with or something for like doubling your coins or something. And just make it just give him like a small edge, and then it's a coin sink. Hear me out. At a Pico 8 emulator and a code editor and cassette tape items. Wait, how hard would that be? That would actually be the game logic not hard, the transition hard. Yeah, I am streaming on other platforms. I also stream on Twitch, and then sorry, I don't have like a chat thing popping up on my screen, so you can't really see. Yeah. Sorry, if you go to Twitch, you'll see the chat though. Pico 8's fairly simple. It's Lua. Yeah, but I would need a way for like just to build the whole system. You would need to have some kind of housing block. Obviously, it wouldn't be like an arcade cabinet. It would be something like some magical reason as why you can do this stuff. But then you could make it so people could program something with, or could I do that? I'm trying to think. How would I register that? Just database wise, I'm trying to think about how I would do that. I mean, it's such a cool. There doesn't need to be any global data unless you save high scores. Flappy Myth. No, it would, like, I think the idea was that. Oh, maybe I misunderstood. I was thinking there would be a way for people to I was thinking there'd be a way for people to build like the cassette tape items that other people can put in their arcade cabinet to play some Pico 8 game. That's what I was thinking. So I was like, how can I store that much data into an item? Which I probably could do that. I can't store, no, every item is fungible right now. Though I do want to add an enchanting system, and I will need to add something like that in the future. However, it's just too much data to put into the item key, if that makes sense. So like what it would have to be, I'd have to, or I don't know, I guess we'll just draw this. It'd have to be something like this, right? Like you've got your item. This is just like an ID. And then like the enchanting system is gonna add some like, I'll just call it like this. But this is gonna be like a U64 or something. And this would also be like a U64. So then every item is just a key plus some like arbitrary data. And then you just slide up this, you slice up this uint64 to hold like arbitrary data. And then one of those pieces of data would have to be like a pointer to some database. Like this was like a cassette tape program that someone's programmed. And then it would just be like a block of their code. Or something like this. It would have to be something like that, I think. I can't store it in the item ID, obviously. Or could I? No, because the problem is other tables rely on... No, maybe I mean, I guess I could. Sorry, I'm just like thinking here how it works. If I just put like a pointer or something inside the struct, and then it's nil, or it's got data. Maybe I could just do that then. Maybe the item could just store the ID to a GitHub gist or something, or an internal storage. When I move all the data into the DB, then items become non-fungible since they only reference DB, which, well, the problem is you want some items to stack, like you want ores and stuff to like stack. But if someone builds like a custom item or they enchant some custom item, those have to become non-fungible, right? Because now they can't stack ever in databases. Like even in here, like I can't stack them because once it gets put into a slot, it loses all of its stuff. Yeah, I mean, like that's basically what this is. You have like the key of like what item type it is. And then you have like some metadata field. And then the goal is just to make this as small as possible. But maybe it's, I'm just trying to, I can't really think, like I'm having trouble like visualizing the whole system of if I just put pointers in here of what that looks like. It sounds bad, but I almost feel like it might work. The only problem is then, I mean, right now I use a NoSQL storage, so like it's pretty easy to just throw some random data in an item. But if I did move to something like Postgres, then this would putting a pointer would break down. So it'd have to be like a key. It'd have to be like a foreign key or something, just something else, you know, which is probably not that problematic, I guess. Yeah, well, I mean, we need to pollute the item a little bit just to like let it be modifiable. I built a few inventory systems, and the approach is always to give the item instance in the game a DB ID it references. Since in the game, a DB ID it references. DB ID it references. Oh, for non-fungible ones, you mean? Yeah, it just feels that feels not super great though. If I make like this would be the item type and this would be the other ID you're saying. It feels like if I'm going to have a uint64 here, I could pack in a lot of features just into that. But I see what you're saying. It's just the problem with that ends up being is that every single item now I've got to, like the enchantment information is not like passed with it. Now it's like this extra lookup that I've got to do for every single item. So I don't love that. And I don't really know if I'm gonna have that many item enchantments to warrant something like that. I don't know though. That's definitely more flexible for sure. I just don't know if it's like super worth it. Well, that's store metadata next to the ID. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what my idea was. I guess my idea is kind of like this, right? I've got currently I have item type, And this is what every single item is. It's just an item type. And then if you put it into like a storage slot, then there's also like a quantity. But that's not really part of the item. That's part of like the storage slot, right? So then it's like, sorry, I'm running out of space here. So like now you have an item type in this struct. And now it's like, I need to store something else in this struct that just like, I'm using the word enchanting to kind of cover everything, that it like enchants the item somehow. And I can put whatever I want into this section, right? It could be a uint64, it could be like a pointer to some other struct. And then those have different trade-offs depending on like what level of flexibility and like storage mechanisms I have to use to like look up that thing. So then like the one idea that I had was just like packing the bits as best as possible. And then I could maybe do something for really complicated items. Like I have the uppermost bit be a 1. And then it's like, then the rest of it is like a key. And then this key could go into a database. And then you have like super flexibility. But then for like low entropy things, like I think in the like item enchantment system, where it's like, you're just gonna do like, you got like +3 strength or something. Like this is very encodable, I feel like, into like a uint64. And it's like, maybe you've got like 5 different enchantment slots or something like that. So like I feel like you could pack most of this stuff for a lot of cases into a uint64 and then get away with not doing a database call at all. I can't really like, I don't really have this numbers in front of me, but I just feel like that's like having a flexibility mode and then having a just a bit packing thing. And then I have this super easy way to move data around where I'm just copying bytes. I don't have to do this extra database call for every single thing. That's what I was thinking of doing. Or actually, I wasn't really ever thinking of doing the database, but if we did the Pico 8 emulator inside the game, then I think having something like this does make sense. How dynamic are enchants? Yeah, I mean, it's got to be limited based off of like, I have to have like an enchantment type and then like an enchantment scaling vector or something. So it's like, how many enchantment types could I possibly think of? And then multiply that by how many levels I might have on the enchantment type. You could just open the item struct in code rather than drawing. You could just open the item struct in code. Item can contain a map. It's not an empty map. Respond with 1 to 5 keys takes up a lot of space. Yeah, it's just the problem is it needs to get stored in the database at some point. Like I need to store this big grid of items. So I can't really like pack a map into a thing, if that makes sense. Unless I stick with no SQL, in which case I guess I could. How unique are item slot orders? You could assign enchants by index and then map to a table. So that way slot and enchant are separate. Yeah, like that's what I would do is I'd have like an enchantment type and then I'd have like the enchantment scaling vector or factor or something. So imagine if you just use SQLite or PG from the beginning. Yeah. I think I'd have to use something. I guess I could use SQLite on its own host, but I do think that was one of my biggest mistakes. It just came from like inexperience, I think, of thinking I needed better database performance than I actually needed. Well, I'd have to run it. I'd have to build like a database server that hosts SQLite. Well, you can pack JSON into Postgres. Wasn't really supposed to be a big project either at the time. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be connected to the main game binary. because you need to have one database with multiple servers, right? So, but anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. We're not doing that right now. Most SQL engines have pretty good JSON capabilities these days. You can grade JSON strings and all. Yeah, I know Postgres lets you use like JSON B encoding. Hey, Claude Code, make this run on Postgres, please, thanks. It's really not that, I feel like it's not that hard to move to Postgres. Cat's laying on my keyboard. Like, I don't think it'll be that big of a problem. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do it as I'm gonna do it when I wipe, probably. It's not gonna be worth it to migrate it. So, but all in due time. It's not top of my list, so. Okay. What can we do to keep working on this quest now? I guess I just realized you can just throw like a JSON B column on an item. Yeah, but then you have this bank thing, which is already a grid. That's already like JSON. I don't know. I need to stop thinking about this. Well, it's mostly like I'm just deciding if I want to, what sort of like, it's like a gameplay decision. So it's not like it's really a smaller chunk for it. It's like, do I want to have this or this? Boom, boom. Like it's weird, when I was developing the quest, I kind of like designed it to do both of them simultaneously, but I have to go one path. Add a voting system in game for pulling gameplay ideas, just like RuneScape. The Pico 8 idea is super cool, but I always vote in LSRS, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I need to focus on gameplay features rather than feedback features. I think at this point, I have a feedback form if people want to give feedback, but So I'm trying to think if there's a way I can keep working on this quest without making this decision. Is there a way? If I do the conversion, if I just convert it, that works. And I can always go back. Why is the decision hard to make right now? Well, it's just deciding if I want to have the quest item get remade into something different, or if I want it to, like there's this block that you make and you enter this and you do a dungeon, something drops here, then you return back and you have this quest item now. So the question is, do I have the user take this block plus the quest item back to her to convert it to the Mythboard interaction one? Or do I have you just take the quest item to her and then she crafts the Mythboard interaction block as a separate block? Because that way, then I could use this as like, kind of like a Path of Exile mapping system that I might use in the future. That's kind of the question. So either she makes you a brand new block or she converts this block to an upgraded block. Make the quest block, check if your inventory contains it, cue some magic effects, and boom, block replaced. Yeah, but then I don't have a block to do Path of Exile mapping based off of. For like end game, something end game that I might have in the future. The problem is, yeah, but I think I have a solution. I think I can just convert it right now, and then if I decide to unconvert it, I can do that in the future. So I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, I mean, it would be like an in-game dungeon creation system where you could like spend gold, honor, and maybe some items to like build specific dungeons with specific modifiers to have like really tough challenges. How do you store unlocked portal locations? Unlocked portal locations. What do you mean by that? How long have you been on Emacs? Do you think it's actually made you more productive? I think it's more comfortable. It's like your productivity is just like, I feel like it's kind of unrelated to your IDE. Like if you're asking, do I type faster with it? Like, and maybe I can navigate like a little bit quicker. I don't think it's like that big of a change though. But I do, it's very comfortable. Like just, I never touch my mouse unless I'm like just kind of scrolling around and reading stuff. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do Astrolab, and then we're gonna do but yeah, I've been using Emacs for a long time, like 10 plus years. So I'm kind of stuck here. Do I not have a where do I define this? Quest item. Oh, I thought I did. I knew I had the file for this. Whoops. Oh, is that how PoE works? Yeah, no, sorry. I wouldn't be like, it would be different. Like, sorry, I was saying like it was going to be Path of Exile like, not exactly like what Path of Exile does. Mine would be more probably of like, there'd be this block you interact with. This is how I kind of envisioned it. You could open one portal in this block and then maybe everybody could join it from their own thing. So there'd be like a list of every portal that anybody else has opened. Like a public portal list or something like that. And so you could join one that's already been opened, or you could open your own and enter it. And you could probably make it like private or public, depending on if you wanted to play with other people or not. So like it would be that sort of system. It's obviously like not something that I need or want to build right now, but it's like you kind of have to think ahead a little bit. Otherwise you like paint yourself into a corner of like not having the block anymore because I've converted it to this other thing. So I don't know. No per player restriction based on progress. No per player restriction. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably just let anybody go into any of them. I don't know. So like these are all like kind of decisions I haven't made yet. It's just like maybe I will do this thing. So I don't know. I don't really know what to write for this yet. I do need to draw something. Let's go ahead and do resonance. Oh, it's in the static tagged? Or no, it's item. Do I have one for quest? I do. In web phishing, you can place a portal, one per person, and you go into an instanced area. Yeah, it would be kind of like that. You'd be opening an instanced area. I think I'd make it so that you could open them by yourself. I'm not even sure what web phishing is. that a game? Is this recent? Open recents. Icon. It's a friend slop kind of thing. All right, let me look. I'm curious now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, 50,000? Play a real guitar. It's like online co-op. Is it like oh, massively multiplayer. So you log in with a bunch of people, I guess. Or like everybody's here fishing on this island. Oh, players host servers. Oh, I see. Game without a specific objective, you just chill. Not an MMO, smaller lobbies, server browser type thing. Oh, okay. I see. You can play the guitar with full MIDI support. It's like that VR chat. Oh, okay. Interesting. I might just take a cube sprite and like, I'm trying to think if there's an item around here that I can use, but I might just take a cube and like draw onto it or something. VR chat, but less predators. Yeah. All right, let's just do this. I think. This maybe? That maybe? Like this? No, that's wrong. That one's wrong. There we go. It's kind of a tight fit. Let me do this. Oops. Nope. That feels backwards to me. I can't decide if I want this to be this color. Of course, I messed that up. That looks better. All right, this is our basic. Okay. Now I just need to convert this to looking good. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and make a new one. I genuinely don't really know how to draw this. I'm trying to think. Like in my head, what I want to do is like, I just want to like borders. Like I want like wireframe kind of. That's gonna be so hard. But we'll try. I might actually go ahead and just make it a different color so it doesn't blend in. That could actually work. Friend slop is such a big genre these days. There's that new Mecha Chameleon game people are playing. Yeah, that one is blown up. It's a good idea, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Actually, I might just leave it like this. Friends up is usually 30 minutes of haha funny and then tedious and unfunny. Make games good again. Got a high bar. Sorry, let me read this. Hold on. Unit kind of released by Goth Game under a shared team name so we can both profit. No, you should take full credit for it. It does kind of fit, honestly. By the way, it's called Hot Tropic. That's actually a good name. All right, let's do this. Wait, what did I do on the right side? Okay, I'm just gonna mirror. Hold on. This? That blends too much. It's too angled up. That actually might be it. Trying to decide here. Eh. All right, I'm gonna leave the other one. I'm just gonna use this one now. Okay. Yeah, I'm giving up the black outline one. I feel like there is a way to do it. I just am not good enough at drawing to do it. Like, it doesn't look, I mean, this looks bad actually. Just the right angled corners look really bad. I guess if I did them darker, I'm not gonna worry about it though. Could be a cube with a blue grid on it. I'm just gonna do this. This looks good enough for now. So a lot of structure 0. Cube with a roof. Or one of those cubes that pops out one of those scary, the things that's supposed to scare you, the Jack in the Box. Okay, we have this now. Now we can update the loot table. All right, so you get a lattice structure when you defeat this dungeon, when you're doing the quest, and then afterwards, you get crystals. Perfect. And then we can go crystallography 2. All right. Yeah, you need to have a lattice structure, and you also need to have the it is kind of confusing, the dialogue here. Because she's like, oh, you need to put the prototype astrolabe in your house and use it. And then I guess I could do a double nested check. So it checks to see this. And then if you go to the success tree, well, fail would be like, you need to bring back a... The problem is it's going to make the user go back and forth, right? Quest flow is always tricky. I could also make just another task where you bring her the lattice structure and then you talk to her again and she says, hey, bring me back that one item. I do that, or I just keep them separate and then the player ends up having this useless prototype astrolabe in their house. I'll just have the server take it, I guess. We'll just have him take just the lattice structure. And then we'll do okay, that one's done. Okay, then we need to make a block type for the myth board. Let me just read through this. Check in, mark complete. Is there a quest reward? Block type myth board. I'll leave the to do. I want to double check how much honor I want to give. I need to rename that. I'm gonna make this not soulbound, just temporarily. Oh. Because what we'll need to do is we need to, there's a lot of UI changes actually we have to make. We need to remove the Mythboard button from the top right-hand corner next to the minimap. And then we need to make it interactable only from your Mythboard block. I mean, I guess I could just combine these into one thing. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna make this soulbound now. Or let me save my character. Then I will make this soulbound. I just wanted to get one. Oh, I forgot to change the config for this. The sprite's fine. I'm just gonna reuse the sprite for now. Oops, that part didn't save. That's fine though. Okay, this is interactable. It's just not, there's no menu for it. Like this one has a function that runs the menu. This one does not have a function that runs the menu. So my question is, how do I combine these? It's just the same question though. So I'm just like, I'm trying to envision what this will feel like. One idea, actually that might hook in really well. Does that work? What I was thinking was something like, so I combined these two things together. So this one is a way to enter a dungeon. And this one is like a skill tree board sort of thing. So if I put this sort of thing into a menu like this, not a full screen menu, like the skill tree is a full screen menu. But if I change this one to be a like in window menu, kind of like this menu is, maybe take up more room. I might need more room, but then I could have like the center node. Like I'm just trying to think of like what the center node would be then. It's like a requirement. So then you get the prototype astrolabe and you immediately see the whole tree, but you're blocked because you have to complete some quest. Let me think. Oh, then you don't have to recraft the board at all. It just ends up being, well, then it's not prototype. So I guess it would be a different item. So I guess I could just call it an astrolabe. It kind of fits into the narrative though of the story of like, oh, I need this thing to like upgrade this other thing. But whereas, I mean, I guess I could have her just say something like, oh, I upgraded your astrolabe in your house for you. So then this menu would need to be redesigned, kind of. The other thing that's a little bit tricky is for the skill tree, I guess. No, I guess it's pretty, like there's a lot of things you can do without having the classes unlocked. So this adds just a bunch of stuff, I think. Also, I think getting to this quest is not super long. It's just like a tier 3 dungeon that you do. So what I could do was I could have one node in the middle that when you click it, it lets you enter. It's just so tricky. Yes, you click it and you say like, I want to enter it. It's either that or it ends up being like some tabbed system where like you go from the board to you go from the board to like a dungeon creator thing. It's a tricky one. Obviously, this will need to be disabled once you finish the quest. Yeah, I think I'm fine with. I think I'm fine with restricting these to finishing this quest. The only thing that's confusing is people get their skill tree. They find their skill tree, and then that's like they see these starting nodes, and they like cannot access these at all. But I guess it's good to have things to work towards. Like they have to find crystals, finish crystallography 101, and then they can do crystallography 102, and then start unlocking these. Decisions. I'm gonna have to think about this more, I think. I think I'm gonna end stream here, everybody. And go eat and think about this some more. I'm just not really sure what to do for this. I hate just sitting here spinning my wheels, not doing anything. So. But anyways, thank you all for stopping by. I hope you had a good time. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And but yeah, this will be the end for today's stream. Sorry I didn't stream on Monday. I got a little sidetracked by stuff. I know. I'll try to stream more days a week though. I feel like I've been doing just this like Monday morning thing, and it'd be nice to stream on like maybe Monday and Wednesday. So, but we'll see. But yeah, thank you guys. And see you later.